Hello and welcome to Warhammer. Today will be the news catch-up or catch-up of the news of the Age of Sigmar side. I had done already one for catching up for what is been announced for the 40k. I decided to do a separate one for the Age of Sigmar side. And for the Age of Sigmar, we have a few news that I've tried to catch up on. Is the fact that they have actually announced finally the starter sets for the 3rd edition, which is typical. They're getting ready to launch it, so they have announced all of them, and some of them look pretty cool. And if it is how it was for 2nd edition, you might be able to get maybe the big box and in one of the smaller boxes to be able to complete your army, which is pretty cool in itself. Hopefully the prices kind of stay the same. I know the prices have been steadily going up when it comes to Games Workshop, so hopefully you have that good entry price for these in euros. I believe the starter one is just like 40 euros if I remember correctly, but hopefully they do keep on that price. And we're gonna go ahead and start off with the 3 boxes that they announced, plus some paint sets if you're into collecting those new paint sets, or if you're someone who is barely getting into the hobby, barely getting into Age of Sigmar. Really, this is really, I know they keep on saying it all the time, but this really is the perfect time, since it is the launch of a new edition. So that means new rules, that means everyone is starting off sorta in an even playing field, and everyone has to learn the new rules and stuff like that. I know the veterans will have more experience, but for new players it's going to be much easier to come into the game in this way. Also because they're going to have new books with new lore, and you'll be able to have like a tiny summary inside the books, depending on what issue you get. Obviously, we'll start off with the warrior set, starter set. It's going to contain 18 minis, of course. It's the typical one, it's the smallest one. It's going to have that paper playing mat. It's really for people who really want to just start off, as we know. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, maybe you can get this one plus the big box, and you'll be able to have like a good set of army if you're into wanting to have these armies, specifically the Stormcast Eternals and the Crow Boys. So you're gonna contain that. You're gonna have also the box that is gonna be able to flip. I'm guessing they're gonna keep on that tradition of having the box that flips over, and you'll be able to use it as some sort of terrain piece. So that's kind of cool when it comes to that one. I know for 2nd edition they did it for the small box, the starter box, and the medium one. So hopefully they do that also for the same one. We'll get to see that a little bit later. And of course the typical one, you're gonna get one of those dices, the cheap kind, plus the rulers, and you'll also have the core rules plus just a very small version of it, so you'll be able to just carry it around. So basically this is for the people who are just getting into the hobby, or people who want to finish the big box, because I'm pretty sure if they keep on doing like how they did it for 2nd edition, that big box is gonna have some weird odd numbers. So you might have to buy other sets, because that's how Game Workshop is. They want you to buy more minis, so they just give you weird odd numbers. So of course you're gonna have that, and the War Scrolls. And then we move on for the medium size box, which is the Harbinger starter set, which will include that flippable box to be able to use it as a terrain piece. Is gonna keep on the same thing. It's just a little bit thicker rule book, plus you're gonna get, instead of 18 minis, you're gonna get 32 minis. Of course you're gonna get the push fit for the people who are just starting. So this really is catering to basically like it says, the starter box. So but for all of us who are veterans, this is more basically to collect more minis. Is the perfect way if you're into these armies. It is really the perfect way, like how it was kind of like in 2nd edition, that you would just get some of those boxes and have a quick army when it comes to that, and later on adding more and more minis to those armies. But it's only for people who want those specific armies, the Stormcast Eternals and the Cruel Boys. Sadly, none of them contain the battle tomes for each. That is also gonna be separate, but at least it has basically the core stuff that you're gonna need. So yeah, you're gonna have the box itself. You're gonna have the flippable box, 32 minis for this one, and the war scrolls. Again, the dices plus the rules in the core book, and still that paper mat, that paper terrain kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. You'll be able to have that. Hopefully, like I said, they stay at the same price, and obviously then you're gonna have the extremist, which is, you know, the big one. And this is actually, honestly, this is probably pretty cool at the fact that they released this one, because for the first starter box, for the second edition starter box, they did not contain any terrain pieces. So the fact that they actually included terrain pieces for this one, plus it's actually a hard mat, that is actually pretty cool. And hopefully, if it does stay at the same price as the second edition, this is gonna be one heck bang for the buck, because you're gonna have obviously your minis, which is going to be the same as the Harbinger box. It contains both what is included in the Harbinger box plus the terrain piece, so that in itself is pretty cool. 5 terrain pieces, I know it's not a lot, but for people who are barely starting, to have a hard mat already plus terrain pieces, that actually helps a lot. You can have a tiny, you can even use this for Warcry, and that would be actually very perfect to use it as a Warcry thing. But for the veterans, that's actually pretty cool, because you'll be able to add new terrain pieces from Gur to your current mats or whatever you have to choose as you play. So that is pretty cool, and obviously it's going to include the war scrolls plus a little bit thicker core book. Maybe it's going to include a little bit more fluff inside there. And of course you have the campaign book. So hopefully, if it stays on the same price set, that's gonna be one heck bang for the buck, this one. And honestly, this is the one I would recommend for people to get if they're barely starting. It's just the extremist. And then if you want to add a little bit more, you can just get the first box, actually, the warrior starter set, and you'll be able to have some extra, you know, foot soldiers in there, because you already have one shaman. But as I haven't read the book, I haven't read the core books yet, since I'm over here traveling and I received my box when I left, so I haven't gone the time to be able to do that. Hopefully I get to do it soon, but hopefully this is gonna be the best thing to get, and then afterwards just get one of the other boxes to be able to complete, you know, a 2,000 point army, or even 1,000, like a 1,500 point army. So that's pretty cool. And then we move on to the paint tool sets. Obviously it's just stuff that they release all the time, you know, new colors, and also they just send you the they just include the stuff that, you know, a basic person would need. Most of us who are veterans, we already have all of this stuff, but for the person who's just starting, this might be pretty good. Also, it includes the colors that are quote unquote needed to paint the way that they are in the box set, but you can just, you know, mix and match and be able to come up with new colors. So it's pretty cool. Maybe the price is gonna stay the same. It's gonna be 13 paints, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Of course, you need the clippers, and you need your brushes and your filer, so you'll be able to get rid of those pesky whites. But if you want to just specifically get 2 little push fit models with paint sets, you can go for either the one with the Stormcast or the one with the Cruel Boys, and it's gonna be basically the same thing, but they're just giving you the colors that are suggested in the box, not really colors that you want to paint them yourself. But it's a good way to start. It's a good way to get into the hobby, to be able to paint something. Sometimes it's a good practice to just follow a certain line, a certain rule set. So if you want to start off with just 2 minis, see if you're gonna like the hobby, I would recommend to get one of these little tiny boxes with the paints and the brush and the minis, so you can figure out if you're gonna like the hobby, and if you feel like maybe you should start off with like the basic colors and then move on to adding your own twist to it. So that's pretty cool. And of course, another thing that I want to remind you guys about that is coming up later on, not really right now, but they had announced it that they're going to come on later on, is the new models that they're going to be releasing after the box sets. So one of the first things that I'm first going to talk about is going to be the new battle tomes that they're going to be releasing later on, which is going to be for the Stormcast Eternals in the Orc War clans, which is going to kick off the 3rd edition battle tomes, obviously, since they are this new edition's poster boys, these two right here. And of course, the covers for these two books are just amazing. The artist in Games Workshop did an amazing job to convey the epicness from both the Orc War clans and of course the Stormcast Eternals. And I had assumed that maybe the Crew Boys were gonna have their own battle tome, but no, in fact, they're just part of the Orc War clan, so you'll be able to just join them in the big WA if you wanted to just mix and match all your. If you happen to have some bone splitters or some iron jaws with it, now you can actually just make a big WA between the iron jaws, your Crew Boys, and your bone splitters. And the Stormcast Eternals, obviously, there's nothing much to say about them. They're pretty cool themselves. This actually new edition, the way they did their armor and the way they the lore is going up to them and the new models, that actually got me, for once, has me excited for the Stormcast Eternals. And we're gonna start off with, of course, one of the big boys aside from Industra is Lord Commander Bastian Carthalos, leaders of the Hammers of Sigmar, the poster boys for, every single Stormcast Eternals. They're the golden ones. They're the ones you see everywhere when it comes to Stormcast Eternals. But now they have their Lord Commander. He's the guy leading it. So of course, that is pretty cool. And the way he did his pose looks very imposing. It looks very cool. He looks basically what his rank is. He pretty much looks like a Lord Commander, someone who will be pretty much scared of to be there. And of course, now they're doing the whole helmetless or with a helmet kind of thing. So you'll be able to choose whether if you want to give him a helmet or not. And they're actually gonna give you a choice whether if you want to put him in a different kind of pose or not. So that is pretty cool. And of course, his cape, epic. And then afterwards, we're just gonna have the Knight Relictors. Of course, they're there to be able to provide support with prayers to everyone in the Stormcast Eternal army. So they're gonna be kind of like your wizard. They're gonna be pretty cool in the battlefield. They're not just gonna be laying back. So hopefully, but also the model itself looks pretty cool. Just a little front, little fanny pack thingy that has in the front looks kind of funky, but other than that, it's pretty cool. And then of course you have the new vanquishers. It's kind of pretty epic. They're the long swords that they have. They look pretty cool. You'll be able to customize it. You're gonna have female parts. You're gonna have male parts. So you'll be able to mix and match, create your own for once. Stormcast Eternals is gonna have, that little personal touch to it, aside from the color of the armor, but also the fact, some of their helmets actually come with ears. Some of them don't have ears, so that's pretty cool. They're finally be able to add some little customization. And then you're gonna have the archers. Of course, we already know the archers in the Stormcast Eternals are pretty fierce, so now it's gonna be even more epic. And I really dig the poses that they have. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, I pretty much love this new armor. It looks pretty gladiator kind of Greek kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, the guys for me who always steal the shows are the Crew Boys. Of course, now we have some very, very epic stuff when it comes to the Swamp Boss on the Scumdrek. Just taking out of my dreams. This thing is amazing. It looks very, very, just, I don't know, it looks very put, just like like if they just kit bash it together, they just had to put stuff everywhere and everywhere. But just the model itself looks epic. It looks crazy, it looks creepy, but it looks cool at the same time, you know. It looks really cool. It's just straight out of someone's imagination, and just decided to put that in there. It was conveyed pretty darn well. So it is just pretty cool the way they did it. Now painting it might be a hassle, but other than that, I think everyone who gets this model is gonna have a blast. For me, Cruel Boys are the army I'm gonna be collecting the most in 3rd edition, that is for sure. And of course, you have different ways to customize your model when it comes to this one. You have I guess in the same kit you're gonna be able to have either like a named hero or just a nameless one. But either way, they look pretty epic, both of them. I like both of them, so they're pretty cool. And then obviously then you have the Mars Crawler Slogoth. So that also looks pretty cool. You got the guy chanting in the back, you know, with a little drum, beating the drum. You got this guy in 4 feet, in his 4 appendages, so it's pretty cool. You got the guy with his neck, because you know obviously they want to take prisoners, they want to take slaves, because you know they want to trade in with whoever that Dark Lord Master happens to be that gives them the little armor that we also suspect is to be the Chaos Dwarf. So that's pretty cool. He has a little cushion, you know, you gotta also protect his little back. But other than that, this one also looks super epic. It's just amazing. I can't wait to see the rules for these 2 monsters. And then of course we have new guys for the Cruel Boys. We got the Gut Ripas, so we have even more models for the Gut Ripas, which is pretty darn amazing. Honestly, this new line of Cruel Boys, this new line of orcs are just looking amazing. And of course the orcs are getting some range weapons as well. We already knew that, but now we have the Manscure Bolt Boys, or you have a Bolt Boys boss option as well. So that is pretty cool that they're getting some range weapons. And not only that, but it actually looks pretty cool. Like, honestly, that's why I said that I'm collecting these guys, because honestly these models look so amazing. For me, they still show up every time they announce new models for them. It's just amazing. But yeah, that is my news roundup for the Age of Sigmar side. Let me know, guys, what you guys think. Are you guys kind of excited for these new models? Are you going to be picking up any of them in the future? Are you hoping to get one of these starter sets, or are you just gonna be waiting for them to come out individually, or maybe you can be sharing it with someone? I don't know. Let you guys know. For me, I already have the new box set, and I'm pretty sure I'll be getting the extra ones that are coming out. And if I want to complete my army, I'll just get more from the starter set. But I think I'm going to be getting that 40k or the Snaga boy, the Snog Mashas. I'm going to be getting that one as well. So I'll be able to kick bash some for Age of Sigmar. That's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, let me guys know what you guys think, and hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you subscribe, and remember, not everything's what it seems in the realm of Warhammer.